We're going to work.
One more.
No holes for the rats to crawl in now.
Lip.
Everybody's working.
Chest up, work your hips.
You need guys that are going to win football games.
Texas All Access, Wednesdays at 8 on the Longhorn Network.
And what you're here to do is grow up.
Prince from the shotgun with Franklin behind him on second down. Turns, looks to throw. Left side, fires it out there, and it's intercepted at the 45-yard line of Texas. Carrington Bindum, the sophomore, cut on the ball and picked it off at the Bruin 45. We spoke of the Carrington Bindum interception earlier. Sudden change. We talk about sudden change. It leads me into asking about sudden change within the structure of conference realignment. There's been so much talk about this week. I know you've scarcely noticed because you guys have been on the practice field as well. Do you continue to take the same approach of just preparing a football team and trying to block out all that other stuff that's going on?
We do. What we've tried to do with our team and our staff is address it briefly when we have information. There's so much misinformation out there. It's not healthy because people are just jumping on conclusions that aren't factual. And then they're running with it, and it looks like it happens. Well, this affects people's lives, recruits' lives, parents' lives, high school coaches' lives, our lives. So what we do, Craig, is when I get some information from Bill Powers or DeLoss Dodge, I figure that's the only information I need because they have it daily. They don't call me every day. They don't ask my opinion every day. But when they've got something that is solid, they will call me and say, Coach, here's what we've got. Here's where I think it's headed. This has to happen, but here's where we are. And then what I can do is try to filter how much of that our staff needs to hear based on what DeLoss and Bill would want me to say. And the same thing to our team. We've only addressed it with our team once. We did it Sunday night, and it simply was that we're not sure. Our place is that we want what's best for you guys, and we think what's best for you guys based on what you've told us in the past is to stay here. And we would like to play as much in a regional conference as we possibly could, because if your parents can see every game, good for you, because they've been watching you play in high school. If your high school coaches can come and watch you play, if your friends can come and watch you play, and you get home at a decent hour. Now, we played at 12:30 in L.A., 2:30 here. We pulled up to the stadium at 12:30. At night. So if that had been a 9 o'clock game, 7 o'clock game, 8 o'clock game, we get in here at daybreak. And even the Iowa State game within the conference, we'll play at 6 o'clock. We'll get back here at 2:40. So the guys just won't get any sleep, and it'll be tough for them to get up and go the next day. But what I really believe is that we need to look at really the needs of the student athletes. They're the ones that are working themselves every minute of every day to play. We need to look at what's best for the fans. I mean, I have a friend that went to the UCLA game, cost $1,000 to get out there, watch the game, and get back. He can do that once. He can't do that 5 times. He can't do that 6 times, and he's a huge fan. But it makes it more difficult. So the Texas side of this has been, let's stay here. Let's make the Big 12 work. Let's do whatever we need to make it work. And I think that's best for our student athletes, for the fans, our fans that drive up to Waco and will drive over to College Station. They drive to Oklahoma City or to Oklahoma State up in Stillwater. They can go to Dallas. They can get to Tech. We sell out every ticket for every away game we've got. So from my standpoint, if it's best for the student athletes, if it's best for the fans, then it's best for Texas football.
All right, we'll be back to wrap it up with Longhorn Sports Line with head coach Mack Brown, presented by Great Southern Wood, continues on the Longhorn IMG Radio Network. David Ash is checked in as a receiver. Fozzie Whitaker is the quarterback now to take the snap in the Wild Horn formation. He'll take the snap and run it himself. Whitaker breaks the tackle. 30, 20. Say goodnight to this one. Fozzie Whitaker, the direct snap, and the Wild Horn formation sees Whitaker rumble 36 yards for a Texas touchdown. Well, that play is up for your vote as the Time Warner Cable Wideband Internet Ultimate Play at mackbrown-texasfootball.com. Time Warner Cable Wideband Internet offers download speeds up to 65 times faster than DSL, plus a free Internet security suite and parental controls. Make your ultimate play with Wideband Internet from Time Warner Cable. It's another one of those wonderful wrinkles we've seen in this offensive system so far, and Fozzie Whitaker seems so comfortable in that system.
I think what DJ Grant said about packaging, everybody's got something they can do in this offense. It also makes you stay alert, because when they call your package, they call your formation, you've got to jump up there and get ready to go. And Fozzie's been so slick handling that ball back there, and it's really back to some part of the single wing and some parts of the wing T, because it goes back in history. And we obviously had the sweep, we've had the reverse, and now we have the reverse keep. And I thought it really caught UCLA off guard on Saturday afternoon.
Well, and as we mentioned, Fozzie seems so comfortable in it, no matter what the situation. This is a guy who was a running back in high school, but he's comfortable doing whatever is called to that position.
He is. We'll have to come up with a little Fozzie pass here, too. That's next in there. The good thing about the packaging that we're doing right now is the offensive coaches have some things in their pocket. So after you spring the reverse, then you spring the reverse keep, and then there's a reverse pass, and then there's a fake reverse keep. And so there's so many different things that you can do out of some of these packages. It's fun for me to watch. It's fun for our players. I know it's fun for our fans.
Okay, now the other question I keep getting from fans is, how much more is in there? How much more, and how much more gets put in an open date week on the schedule with regard to the offense?
Well, we will try to continue to build on it, because there is more in there. And you also understand that we've always said this, Craig, that trick plays work as part of your offense. They're not trick plays. And we run these plays every day. So it's not like we're saying, what trick play can we put in this week? Those are a vital part of this offense. The other thing is, when you are blocking people up front and running the football, and you're getting people to buy in up front, and you're showing toughness, and people are having to try to stop that run, then all the other stuff around it, the fringe stuff with the reverses, the speed sweeps, the fake speed sweep keep, all of those things work better simply because there's such a commitment to the run that the defense has to commit up front to stopping the base runs instead of all the other stuff.
We had the earlier email question about the differences between an open date week and a game week as well. I guess the number one difference, other than doing the regular practice thing, the fact that you don't have a game on Saturday, is when you release the guys for the weekend once you get toward the end of the week.
We do. We release them on basically after their classes on Friday, and then they can go home, they can go to their high school games, they can spend time with their parents, they can stay here, they can just rest, they can study. It's really their time, and a lot of coaches don't trust their players to do that, and we've told ours, scares us to death for you to be on the road. Stay away from the parties, because your lives are different than some of the other students and some of your friends at home. So we've trusted our players for many years. By and large, they've really handled it right, but it's an uncomfortable weekend for the old coach when the guys go home, just because so many of them will be traveling.
Are you going to watch a lot of football on Saturday?
I will. I'll try to catch up on who I think is really good and see if we can steal a few ideas from the weekend.
Okay, thanks for the time.
Thanks, Craig.
All right, Longhorns head coach Mack Brown. This has been this week's edition of Longhorn Sports Line with head coach Mack Brown, presented by Great Southern Wood. Want to remind you, of course, the Longhorns will play a week from this Saturday against the Iowa State Cyclones from Jack Trice Stadium in Ames. We'll be on the air at 5 o'clock with the pregame kickoff at 6 o'clock. And we'll see you next week right here on the Longhorn IMG Radio Network.